Guten Abend. Are you afraid of ghosts? Good. You will need that fear. Tonight, we enter Hohenzollern Castle and meet the White Lady. Then pray she doesn't see you, because some spirits never rest and some sorrows refuse to fade. Some say she appears before death. Once you see her, it is too late. Others claim she is searching for someone lost long ago. But one thing is certain, those who meet her gaze never forget. Walk with me among haunted walls and corridors that whisper in the dark. I am Sebastian, your host, and this is From Beyond.
Have you ever felt something watching you when no one's there? Something cold, silent, ancient? Tonight, we ascend the misty hills of Baden-Württemberg, Germany, to the towering Hohenzollern Castle. And there, behind the stone walls and royal bloodlines, waits a ghost wrapped in white. Her name has faded into legend, but to those who serve within, she is simply known as the White Lady. Perched high on Mount Hohenzollern, this neo-Gothic fortress pierces the clouds. It is the ancestral home of one of Europe's most powerful dynasties, the Hohenzollerns. From Prussian kings to German emperors, their legacy is etched in the stone, and, it seems, in the very air that surrounds the castle. Built, destroyed, and rebuilt across centuries, the current structure dates back to the mid-19th century. But beneath the beauty and grandeur lies something older, something restless. Stories have been whispered among the staff, guests, even royals. A woman in white gliding silently through corridors. A figure watching from the upper windows when no one should be there. It is said she appears before disaster, and when she walks, death follows. Her origin is murky, tangled between folklore and history. Some say she is Countess Kunigunde von Orlamunde, a noblewoman from the 14th century, a widow who fell in love with a Hohenzollern prince. But their union was forbidden. She believed it was because of her two young children, and so, in a moment of obsession, or perhaps madness, she murdered them. Two tiny lives extinguished by their mother's hand. But her prince was horrified. It was never the children, it was her. Banished and broken, she retreated to a convent, where she lived out her days in torment. And, after death, it is said she began to walk, always in white, always grieving. Over the centuries, sightings have been meticulously recorded. In 1848, a royal attendant saw her drifting through the upper gallery days before the death of Prince Louis Ferdinand. In 1914, a servant claimed to have seen her standing at the gates, staring, unmoving. The very next week, World War I erupted, and more recently, in the 1970s, a security guard quit his post after allegedly witnessing a woman in a white gown disappearing into a wall. He said she turned to look at him, but she had no face. These stories are not told lightly, and they are not told for fun. Staff at the castle speak of cold spots, of candles that flicker where there is no wind, of footsteps echoing on stone floors when they are utterly alone. One caretaker told of hearing soft weeping near the family crypt. When he turned the corner, the hallway was empty, and once a year, always in the early spring, she is seen walking from the chapel to the Queen's bedroom. Same path, same silence. always just before dusk, and then she vanishes. Paranormal teams have investigated Hohenzollern Castle over the years. EVP sessions in the royal chambers have picked up what sounds like breathing. Soft sobs. A woman whispering something in Old German. Meine Kinder, my children. One photograph captured in the mirror of the Hall of Ancestors shows a pale woman standing behind the photographer, even though no one else was in the room. No explanation, no trick of the light, and the original file remains unedited. Some believe she is tied to the Hohenzollern bloodline itself, appearing only when a great shift or sorrow is about to fall upon the family. In 1888, the year of the three emperors, she was reportedly seen 3 times within the same week. That year, Kaiser Wilhelm I died, then his son Friedrich III. Then Wilhelm II rose to power. Each time she appeared first. Others claim she is a guardian, a tragic sentinel doomed to warn but never intervene, to watch history repeat itself. Those who stay overnight often report nightmares, dreams of drowning children, of suffocating silence. One American tourist awoke screaming, claiming a woman in white had been standing over him, whispering something he could not understand. When asked to describe her face, he couldn't, because there was none. And yet he remembered the eyes, not human, not glowing, just empty. In 2020, during a rare lockdown, a motion-sensitive camera caught something strange. A translucent figure crossing the inner courtyard at precisely 3:15 a.m. It wasn't a staff member. There was no one staying at the castle, and no alarms were triggered. When slowed down and enhanced, the figure appears to float, and for a split second, turns to face the camera. A pale shape, no features, but unmistakably, a woman in white. The footage was never released publicly, but whispers say it reached the descendants of the Hohenzollerns, and since then, renovations have stopped. So who is she? A restless mother? A cursed spirit? A reflection of the guilt that haunts centuries of royal legacy? Or simply a warning? She does not speak. She does not scream. She simply walks, always watching, waiting, wrapped in white. I have told you what I know. Whether you believe it or not is entirely up to you. Thank you for joining me tonight on From Beyond. Subscribe, if you dare, for more stories that slip through the cracks of history and into the shadows of truth. Until next time, sleep well, if you can.
And so, we leave the shadows of Hohenzollern behind, but not the presence that walks within them. She is more than a legend, more than a whispered name. She is sorrow etched into stone, a soul unbound by time. One day, you may visit those ancient halls yourself. And if, in the dead of night, you feel the air grow cold, and if you glimpse pale fabric moving just beyond the edge of sight, do not call out. Do not follow. Simply remember her story. Thank you for walking with me through shadows and silence. I remain your devoted host. I bid you farewell. Gute Nacht.